But yeah, they're a solid team, and like I said, I was very surprised they didn't get to the final. So we'll have to wait and see if they manage to cruise through here. But CPLAY, obviously, with Apricot and DeLarco now as their two new pickups, this is almost a completely new team in a way, and it'll be interesting to see how they play. Apricot is a killer. He's a very good upfront player, and DeLarco, much more of the brains, trying to get around, trying to catch people off guard, and I think that can be key on some maps. Maybe not like on Locker, but maybe on things like Dawnbreaker, which they have picked. So we'll have to wait and see how this one breaks down, Chad, but, I mean, you had a bit of colour commentating recently, so how do you think this one's going to go?
Well, I mean, the thing is, based on these two teams, I think they're going to go for what will be a B and a C hold. You can see the splits going out. Now, the thing is, you can see that pretty much you're seeing what happens a lot with the Russian sides is they then start to put pressure onto the B point. So you can see that it looks like the ExAequo guys have only committed a single person to the C point. He's then starting to move in and trying to make his way up to those rocks, maybe see if he can do a little bit of damage onto that point. And you can see now it looks like an attempt by these guys to defend the B point, I should say, by members like DeLarco there. He's been finished off. That basically means now that the B point is open, and you're going to have lots of guys spawning on the outside. But what's surprising right now is the fact that the ExAequo guys are not really pushing for ownership of that flag right now. It's almost like they're trying to lure their enemy in right now, Dogbert.
Yeah, exactly. But the ExAequo guys doing quite a good job here. They're going to get, well, they were close to getting that B flag. Like you said, they didn't get the flag down straight away. They're doing a good job off the bat. No one's obviously taking a significant lead here, but everyone just seems to be going for B. But there's a big pick out at the edge, and there's CPLAY Freedom going down, and it's going to give Blood a chance to run for C. While this is going on, DeLarco is going in for Prozek at A. So if this 1v1 goes the way of CPLAY, they will regain the bleed. But right now, that Prozek guy is keeping them busy there for a long, long time.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we've talked about in Battlefield is you don't necessarily have to kill people, you just got to tie them up. Take away the time, because obviously time and tickets is pretty much one of the most important currencies in this game. And you can see, obviously, as far as we can see now, CPLAY is currently in at 145 tickets to 128. So they are in the driving seat. They've got an A and a B hold, which is predominantly, I would say, one of the harder ones, but it's also tactically quite helpful because you can see these guys being held out in the snow. So you're going to see lots of defense coming in as DeLarco, oh, look at that. Extra Blade and Zordon taken down by Freedom and DeLarco moving out of the A point in order to take that. You've then got Torquato who's guarding the midpoint, and you've got the other members of CPLAY. Now this is a complete lockdown of A and B right now, Dogbert, and this is a massive problem as far as the ExAequo are concerned, because now you've got guys moving in, cycling in behind them. These guys are going to get caught up in an absolute corridor of death.
Yeah, really, really bad for ExAequo. Just not a good start for them. They haven't really had much of a say. And there's a domination cap, but there's a spawn that might give them a bit of respite. Out near B, possibly able to get this flag. They just need to clear up this one more kill, and yeah. But they're not going to get it. He's still there, and that's going to cause so much trouble for ExAequo. They need to clear him up. There you go. They get him eventually, but man, that ticket lead now is insane, 144 to 95, and they're only just going to get one flag, and that bleed is continuing. They need to break into A, and they need to do it quick, but look at those spawns, Chad, right in predicting an attack.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at the moment. You can now see Zordon and Mimsiek. They're trying to spray bullets over towards the C guys, and it looks like a push in there by Blade got shut down very quickly, and it looks like the C player actually can adding quite a few people to that defense of A. As you can see, a four-man pressure coming in from the members of ExAequo as Zordon gets finished off outside the door, and you can see more fire coming in there from Sayo, taking down Apricot out by the C point, and you can see them starting to push, starting to try and probe those defenses. You're going to have Proboscis who's going to be defending that point, and it looks like now they might be able to get in there and get that C point back. So Blade looking to try and recapture that C. Let's follow him as he's popping out nades, as he knows that's where the point is going to, or that's where the pressure is going to come for. You've got to watch out for the rock, because that's where the enemy tends to like to camp in order to get a nice hit onto the C point. So it looks like now we've changed it around, and the C and the A point are in each other's teams, and we're looking at the B point, which is currently being contested right now. It is flashing, and it's now moved over to the likes of CPLAY, but the A point almost immediately is being contested, and it looks like they've got a pretty serious defense going on by ExAequo, and CPLAY are doing their best to try and push it. The nades are coming out in all directions. Bear in mind, guys, it's still the impact nades. The micro grenades are still banned, And it's interesting to see. What do you think? What are the weapons that these guys are using right now, Dogbert?
Actually, watching Taco, he's got a ACWR, very high cycler weapon, as you like to say, and he managed to get a big spawn out near onto C, right on the hill, and that has really muddled up ExAequo's defense here, because now they realize C is going to go down. They probably think B's defended, and that's put a hasty push onto C, but just got shut down. They are going to capture B without any problem, but A is now wide open. They need to think about this, because otherwise they're going to lose one of these flags quite quickly.
Yeah, you can see them starting to push down towards A as I get the camera stuck in the snow outside. Typical. But you can now see, yeah, I know, it happens to us all. So you can see ExAequo looking to try and defend that point. There's Blade in there at the moment. You can see him. He's in with the Ace-23. He's taking a little bit of fire, tries to back off, doesn't get very far. So you can see here that the A point is pretty much relatively open. It looks like ExAequo have lost Proboscis. And now you can see it's going to be Mimsiek versus multiple members, CPLAY and Freedom. And you can see them starting to push in. Oh, there we go. Fire being taken down. Mimsiek being finished off very quickly. He's going to get revived. But then Nade dropped on his nose. And Proboscis also getting taken down. That's going to be very nasty indeed. That means they've now lost that A point. The B point also in the hands of CPLAY, meaning that the pressure is currently on ExAequo. And they are starting to push pretty hard onto that B point. And they're looking to get a little bit of an ambush. Now, Delarco's positioning is rather interesting. He's not playing aggressively. He's literally in an ambush position, and now, as you can see, the fire coming in, he's going to move up on that ambush to try and outflank the enemy. There we go, goes in, and there goes the ACWR into XCA Gordon, and now they can move over knowing that they've shut down that defense, or that offense, and they're going for the domination cap, Dogbert.
Yeah, and right now you can just see a load of confidence in the CPLAY guides. This is their map. This is the one they picked. So their tactics are obviously very good on it. But you can just see that ExAequo trying to claw away tickets, really. That's a problem for them right now. They just need to get rid of this lead. They might not be able to win this round, but they need to make it easier on themselves. And that's what they're trying to do right now. They have got the C and the A hold, but they are completely outnumbered at C. And you can just see how good CPLAY are on the attack right now. They just overwhelm these defenses that ExAequo put up.
Yeah, you can see now, oh, very nice spawn here as far as ExAequo are concerned. Mimsiek moving in towards the B point, and now hopefully this might be the opportunity because they've got the A, they want to try and take the B point, and if they can actually keep the enemy CPLAY guys out in the cold as we move in, and Blade takes a two-man takedown just outside the A point, as you saw CPLAY, Freedom and Delarco try and make their push into the A. And this is a good opportunity here for Mimsiek and his team to see if he can actually get the all-important takedown of the enemy. There we go, trading fire. He unfortunately catches a nade, and as a result of that, the B point has now been opened up for a very quick rush in by CPLAY, and that's interesting to see. I don't know if you've noticed what Delarco is currently armed with. It's a rocket launcher.
Yeah, I guess this is mostly to blow up some of the walls, and a lot of the metal panels that are around at B makes it a lot easier to hold those flags, I think, and that's. But at the same time, maybe he's just having a bit of fun with the rocket launcher. I mean, it's still a powerful weapon at the end of the day. It's one-hit kill if you hit them with it. But, yeah, right now they got the ticket to play with.
Yeah, they have at the moment, and it's not a massive buffer. It's not a massive buffer at the moment, but like you said, CPLAY seem to be quite comfortable with this. And now, unfortunately, as you can see, an unlucky spawn here by the members of ExAequo means that we're going to have a full domination cap here by CPLAY. And as a result, ExAequo know they've got to get in there, get into that A point. But the trouble is, the A point is the hardest one to get into, as the point has been proven. And now you can see ExAequo trying to work on the C point, as three of their teammates lie dead inside. But then another man coming under fire as the members of CPLAY are starting to push down, and literally Delarco with a rocket launcher. Oh, that's just brutal. That's just not that's not cricket when you fire a rocket launcher at guys who aren't expecting it. But never mind, these things happen. So you can see ExAequo still taking fire. As you can see here, one of the guys trying to move in. He's taking a huge amount of fire. He's down. There we go. Pops down the med pack. And he's going to be going in for one of the enemy, but unfortunately loses that gunfight. And now you can see here that the B point is currently being taken by Yaya. The A point, it looks like Blade has actually managed to get in there. And he's looking to try and take out one of the enemy. There we go. Manages to get him. 77 tickets the difference, Dogbert. Now, the trouble is, based on that, going into the second round, I would say that there's a good chance that CPLAY are going to feel in a comfortable position.
Yeah, and they really just had a more solid game plan on the map. It looked okay at the very beginning for ExAequo, but they really just didn't come together at all. 77 tickets, though. They can come back from that, but they need complete control from the start to the end of this game. And CPLAY really just seemed to I don't know, overwhelm whenever they felt the need to. And whenever they were put on the back foot and they didn't have the 2 flags, they still managed to pretty much overwhelm. So ExAequo need to come up with some kind of answer for that. And maybe a more dominating start is what they need, but 77 tickets, Chad, that is a tall order for any team.
Well, it's just over half, I think it is, of the total number of tickets available in these particular rounds. So, yeah, that's a pretty large cliff to climb, and it's going to be interesting to see. Based on how CPLAY have played on this map and the control that they've had on this map, I'd be very surprised if ExAequo can actually come back from this right now. The way that CPLAY are playing, the way that they are anticipating their enemy means that there's going to be a serious problem for ExAequo.
Yeah, and I think maybe they're already thinking the next map, but we'll have to wait and see. Strong start for them is definitely what they need here. ExAequo are going to start on probably the side that they'll get the bleed with first. They will probably capture C straight off the bat. They will get there first. They will get into the zone quicker. But it's really down to how CPLAY want to play this. They played ultra aggressive in the last one. I got a feeling they'll do the same here. They just got to come forward, get into that B flag, and just try and keep this game up in the air. And that's all they need to do. I've got a feeling that's what we're going to see, Chad.
Oh,
start from CPLAY.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Sorry about that, guys. The Steam which was running in the background pulled me out of the game, so I've managed to quickly get back in. Anyway, let's see how the split goes between these two teams. So, based on CPLAY, it's difficult to say. I think they might make a push in towards the B, go maybe a little bit aggressive. We'll have to wait and see. But there is a 3-2 split and a 3-2 split coming in from the members of ExAequo. And you can see now the C point being grabbed by those guys. This means then they can either go through the centre or they can actually go around the back. So, oh, look at that. Members of ExAequo are being lost at the B point. This could be a dangerous situation as the other guy's blade will start to have to move in. You can see him starting to move in with his ace 23. And let's just see. Looks like he's going to try and rotate Andorran towards the A point. See if they can get that A point to try and cement up their ticket bleed that they want to get if they can get both the A and the C point. So Blade, it looks like more members going in. Apricot gets taken down. Zordon coming under fire from the back here. And looks like an attempt here to hold this point. Oh, just brutality. That entire wipe of ExAequo at the A point has literally caused them a major problem. Now, as a result of that, CPLAY have an A and a B hold, and this is their opportunity to keep ExAequo out in the cold.
Yeah, and they really got to work out something quick. They don't have many tickets to play with here, and CPLAY are in the right positions to hold this attack, and you can see it already faltering here. A 3-on-3 man push while this is going on, a 1-on-1 over at C, and ExAequo are just getting slowly but surely shut down. Delarco is going to take that C flag, and that is pretty much leaving this A flag pretty much. They have to win it if they don't want a domination cap against them, but even if they don't have the bleed. This is really bad.
Yeah, and there's the domination cap, and now you can see them coming through in force. So Blade coming in, taking down the enemy. So they managed to overwhelm them eventually, but they got to try and get that domination cap away from them. And you can see the ticket bleed absolutely going mad on them. And now you can see here they've managed to actually get in there, and it looks like they're in the process of taking the C point back. Mimsiek currently waiting for a push from B, which he knows will be coming any second. There we go, long distance kill into Yaya, and another man there as well. And he's doing a great job of actually defending that with his teammate. So there we go. Oh, massive push coming in. Delarco then gets taken down, and that's a big push coming in from the members of CPLAY on towards the C point, and it looks like Sayo decided to pull back and try and do a little bit of a side rage onto the likes of Apricot. Oh, caught reloading. Very unfortunate. And now this is an opportunity for CPLAY to push in towards the A point, and it looks like we shall look through the eyes of Proboscis just as he gets a rocket fired straight at him. Very unfortunate day at the office for poor Proboscis there. And now you can see Mimsiek moving up. There we go. Mimsiek taking down Delarco. And it looks like they are now back to a B and a C hold as far as CPLAY are concerned. So CPLAY settling down for a comfortable bleeding of tickets. However, you can see a spawn from ExAequo at the back, and he is looking to try and outflank his enemy, maybe see if they can get in there and get the B point back from them as quickly as possible. So the nade's going out, trying to do the damage, but unfortunately Sayo catching a nade with his nose, and that flag is going to change ownership very quickly. But you've now got CPLAY Yaya moving in. He's taken down Apricot. Freedom's nearby, and they've got to be very careful as they take down Blade and manage to secure that B point and start moving out in force towards the C point. Dogbert.
You can just see CPLAY don't really go for A very much. They focus on that C flag. They attack it from two separate angles, and it pays off for them very, very well. Saying that, two of them go down straight on that push on the C and leaves it as a 2v2 right now. But there's the spawns coming in from ExAequo, and that is going to be a possible defense here. But look there, Freedom is coming into A, and he's going to try and deliver some freedom to that A flag, and he does, taking out Prozac. And there you go, that's Battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. Your attack is failing somewhere else. Respawn and attack somewhere else as quick as possible. Switch it up, use the respawns that are going to come in momentarily, and take the momentum away from the team. Keep them off balance, and that's what CPLAY are doing. Unfortunately for them, they have lost that B flag, but I think it's only a matter of time before they get back into this, and they can play a close game right now. They don't need to dominate this one, Chad. They just need to bring it down past 77 tickets.
That is unfortunately the case. So you can see now, as we're watching Yaya pushing in towards the B point, taking a little bit of fire, the bullets ricocheting off the bars, and nades all over the place, and unfortunately he gets finished off as he tries to make it back up through that point, and it looks like that point is actually going to be then re-isolated by ExAequo, and now they're in a reasonably okay position. The only drawback is they seem determined to push in on that A point, and the A point is such a nasty point to push in on. They're only going in via a single entry. That's going to be a problem, because obviously that's, you can focus that concentrating gunfire in, but it looks like they've actually been successful, so a good push in here. And there we go, ExAequo trading fire with one of his enemy. He's going to pop up with a pistol as well, going in for the pistol kill. He gets out the 93R. Oh no, this is going to be bad for ExAequo, because there was one, now there was three. The joys of Battlefield respawn, and it looks like the infirmary is still being defended by the members of by the members of CPLAY, I should say, at the same time as we shall just have to wait and see. No, sorry, correction, ExAequo managed to capture the point, but CPLAY moved in almost immediately and actually got that point back again, so they're getting that, re-establishing that bleed. But you can see now that CPLAY are down to 72 tickets, ExAequo are down to 84, and Sayo is now moving out towards the C point. But another massive spawn here, 3 men I should say, for CPLAY, means that they can immediately move in and take that B point from under their nose.
Yeah, and ExAequo doing what they can, but that first round was devastating against them, and right now, it's there you go, with Sayo dying over at C, that pretty much opens up for a bleed, and right now ExAequo right up against the wall. They've got one ticket really remaining here, but they're doing the best they can, but they really need to just warm up for the next round as best as possible. Next map, sorry. They're trying as hard they can, but this round has just been pretty much back and forth, but the previous round was absolutely dominating for CPLAY, and I think that is going to be another map coming up, Chad.
It is indeed. So a win there for CPLAY. So they will move obviously to 1 map 2-0, and then we shall move on to the choice of their opponents, Dawnbreaker, which is another map that we've seen a little bit.
Yeah, it will be Dawnbreaker next. That is ExAequo's choice, so hopefully they'll have their strategies in place for this one. Obviously, I know they've been saying they haven't been practicing as much recently, but this is probably their go-to map and the one they need if they want to keep in this competition. So we'll have to wait and see how they do with it. But yeah, they had a really rough start at the beginning there. It was a bit nasty at first. It looked okay, but then, man, it suddenly went disastrously wrong.
It did go south rather quickly, but we shall have to wait and see. And there we go, we move on to the next map. So CPLAY with the first win on this particular match, and we shall be moving on to Dawnbreaker. So let's see, change that to there, and we shall be underway very, very quickly. So Dawnbreaker, this is a map that we have seen so much over the course of last season. Quite a popular map. I mean, we've seen it played quite a few times. I think Infused enjoy this map quite a great deal. MYM seem to like it as well and play it well. Dignitas have played it a bit as well. I mean, I don't know whether or not you would regard it as one of their stronger maps, maybe.
Yeah, I'd definitely say every team, to be honest, is quite good at Dawnbreaker. It can swing quite decisively, but
Hmm.
not as much as it used to. Chad, teams have got a lot more used to this map than they were back in the day, and right now a lot of the games on this map really do come down to the wire. Are we gonna go live? I think we are. Actually, no, we're not. ExAequo haven't got themselves ready yet, so as you can see, all the TKing on the CPLAY side.
Of course, yes.
If I have to hazard a guess, though, I think CPLAY might be just a little bit more warmed up and a bit more on point today. But we'll have to wait and see. This is going to be one of these maps that, like I said, can swing quite a lot. You'll see a lot of action at B and a lot of probable action up onto that upper balcony that covers both C and B. But we have seen teams that really just focus on the centre buildings, and that's obvious for certain reasons, but also combats the crossfire that sometimes comes from that balcony. And teams that adapt the quickest are generally the ones that aren't going to suffer massive ticket losses, and I think that's something we'll probably see from both teams today. They really need to adapt to wherever the enemy is positioned, especially when it is that upper balcony, because it's such a devastating position at times.
It is also, and obviously another good point to cover is the connector bridge between the two buildings, as that tends to be quite a important point. You'll always see a single man defending that area to move to stop any movement coming in from the lower building to the upper building. So that always tends to be an interesting experience as far as they're concerned, and we shall just wait for these teams to get ready. I think everybody is in. Let's hope we have a lot less team killing than previously. As, yeah, I see these guys, yeah, they're drinking the Napoleonic Kool-Aid, so to speak. So you can see here, yeah, pretty much a line of mass suicides. So, yeah, we're just waiting for these guys to get ready, and we're currently looking at EXA, and they are in as the blue team, and you have in CPLAY in as the China team. 150 tickets apiece, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dawnbreaker. We're about to kick off, Mr. Dogbert.
Indeed. Interested to see what ExAequo are going to go here. They have got the boost up, so this is going to put 3 guys close to that B flag early on. But it looks like one's going straight into the other building, using the Levolution to get up there. That's Apricot. The rest of them are flowing into that B flag, but those nades have come in, 1 down already. And that's just impact grenades at B. Welcome to the painful world that they bring. And right now, normal start, really. See, ExAequo going to get the initial bleed, going to get the initial B flag, but that is a lot of C play hanging around that B flag. They need to clean this up quick or they're going to lose this flag.
Yeah, we're looking at the B flag at the moment. You can see it looks like Yaya moving in against one of the ExAequo, and he gets shut down very quickly by Proboscis. So Proboscis doing a good job, and Mimsiek also on there. And you can see these guys, look at these, covering these corners of the buildings. They're also chucking down med packs for their teammates, and it looks like one of the other far sides is coming under a little bit of pressure. Now, let's find out what's going on. The meeting room currently owned by CPLAY. The C point currently now owned by CPLAY. However, it looks like ExAequo are moving in between those buildings and those locations right now, and looking to maybe see if they can take the statue point back. We'll have to wait and see. It looks like they decided to actually move over and focus down towards the A point, and that's going to be a problem, because that's pretty much where a lot of the members of CPLAY seem to be focusing right now. Could that turn out to be rather bad for them, do you think, Dogbert?
I don't know. I just seen Delarco get absolutely murdered as he came around the corner at A. It's just Sayo trying to defend this flag by himself. That nade clears out too. I don't know who got that one, but either way, it was huge. And that was from Freedom, and that opens up that A flag, and this is dangerous. This is really dangerous for ExAequo right now, because CPLAY could even get a full domination cap if they want it. That is a spread from both C and to B, and CPLAY are going to try and take the B flag from right under their noses. They've sent Tot to try and defend it, but I think he's going to give it up. There's no need to. They've got the position they want here. They have the A and the B, and they need to just spread out accordingly to hold it now.
Yeah, now we're obviously going to be looking over to Proboscis. Now, he's the guy who's on the plaza on the right-hand side, on the balcony, and he's going to be popping out those impact nades to try and get a long-distance dink onto one of those guys, and he's literally just dropping on that guy's head. Fantastic distance accuracy with the grenades by Proboscis, and now this is an opportunity because CPLAY have actually spawned in behind the C point, meaning that they can now start moving in behind ExAequo, and as a result of that, ExAequo are going to have to rotate very quickly, and you can see, unfortunately, it's looking like now Mimziek has to watch his back as his teammate Sayo has been cut down in the buildings, and this is going to be an unfortunate position as, they traded, Yaya and Mimziek traded inside the buildings. And it looks like ExAequo Gordon trying to defend the connector bridge and looking for an opportunity to get a pick onto one of the guys who is trying to take that B point. But it's looking pretty close right now. As you can see, the difference in tickets, only 117 to 111. However, it looks like CPLAY having the B and the C point could be in a position of control. And it's going to be a tricky one because now they're starting to focus on the A point as well. And if Blade does not win this battle, this could be a domination. Oh, they traded. Oh, that is so lucky as far as ExAequo are concerned. Now they can get that A point back and start pushing in towards the B and the C point, see if they can start doing the damage. The sooner they get that bleed off them, the better, as it's going to be a nasty situation if they don't, Dogbert.
Yeah, definitely. But there you go. Apricot gets taken down on that upper balcony. That opens it up to ExAequo for the first time in a while. But right now, they need to get themselves a bit of presence on that B flag. But there are two important kills. It's just Project by himself down there at the connectors. It's him versus Delarco, and he gets it. And this is now looking good for ExAequo. They have the upper balcony. They have the B flag. They have no one challenging that A flag. It's all looking good right now. This might be their chance to fight back into this game, Chad. They just need to make sure that their line is held a lot stronger than it was before. Because before, they got this defense, but all of a sudden, CPLAY managed to break through. So they need to do something good here.
Yeah, now we're looking through the eyes of Proboscis. He's defending the leftmost push, but you can see now that what essentially CPLAY have done is they've actually moved and trying to outflank around the right-hand side of the A point to try and kill any enemies coming in that direction. And it looks like they've managed to take them down. So it means that as a result of that, CPLAY are going to be able to get the A point. Now, whether or not you're going to see that, yes, you see a reaction immediately from Proboscis. As soon as that A point starts flashing, he gets in there, takes the C point. That's exactly the kind of reaction you would expect to see from a Battlefield team. As soon as the pressure is put onto the A, you move to the C, because you know there's not going to be that many people there. Dogbert.
No, but more importantly, the kills are clear all the way to B right now. And there was a push on C, and that's really got the attention of the ExAequo guys. CPLAY really bumbled this a bit. They could have took that B flag a lot quicker than they have, and now they're going to have a harder fight for it. They are pushing in there, they are spawning on it, but you can see that ExAequo are spread out all around that B flag, but they lose the upper balcony. Apricot takes it again, and that might be the turning point in this matchup, Chad. As right now, that B flag is looking heavily defended. Everyone is flowing into it, and it is really just Zonda by himself right now. He needs to get this kill, and he doesn't. And CPLAY wipe it and hold the A and the B flag, and now that ticket bleed is going to start to really hurt ExAequo, who have just been banished out to that C flag now.
Yeah, unfortunately so. Now you can see Sayo acting as the spawn point for his team, and they're now starting to move in towards that point, moving in towards the connector, but he gets taken down inside the buildings, and this needs to be an opportunity for CPLAY to start closing in on their opponents. Proboscis now going up against Apricot. Apricot and Proboscis, basically, they were the appointed person for that balcony, and now Apricot is the owner. And you can see him trading fire with Proboscis, taking Proboscis down as he didn't have the cover that Apricot had. And now you can see him working together with Freedom. Freedom now moving forward and starting to put some pressure onto the C point, which means you're going to see immediate reaction from Proboscis as him and Zordon are trying to move up. And there you go, you see it flashing. We're now watching through the eyes of Proboscis with a nice kill onto Freedom. Beautiful shot, but there are multiple members there now, and this is going to be a problem for him. So Proboscis having to play it careful. We'll see. Oh, is he going to get it? Yes, he will. Nice kill onto Yaya. Now this is an opportunity for him, but he's up against two members of the enemy team, and this is going to be an issue, as you can see, taking loads of fire. Can he focus his attention quick enough? No, it's a 3-on-2 there. Very unfortunate. Proboscis doing his best to try and defend, but Apricot still remaining in that position and really hassling the enemy team with that fire coming in from the balcony on the far right hand side.
Yeah, and this is where this is a back and forth game, Chad. No one's took a strong lead here, and like I said, this map, everyone's worked it out. They know how to get that bleed off their back quite quickly, but it's all about B. Once again, this flag is key, and right now, CPLAY are just all over it. And those nades came in just clearing out any of these attacks, and ExAequo once again stuck deciding what to do. Big kill from there, big spawn from Protec right behind Apricot, gets a kill, but it looks like Freedom's going to try and stop him here. And Freedom, if he can get this kill, and he needs this kill, this is going to stop that capture. And there's some more spawns coming on him. Apricot and Freedom, two of the last people I'd want to have to go head-to-head with right now. Gets into the zone, stops that capture. It's one-on-one, and it's going to go Apricot's way, and that stops the bleed. And that's really important for CPLAY right now, as they're about to go for a full domination cap.
Now, that's rather interesting because one thing I've just been looking at with the admin chat is apparently somebody just had a Punkbuster banned in the middle of a match. So that's going to be very interesting. You don't see that very often. So obviously that's going to be a rather knotty situation, and we'll just have to obviously speak to the admins and find out what's going on. Anyway, well, let's focus back on this match, as now you can see CPLAY coming under pressure as let's see what Yaya's doing, other than catching a few bullets in the odd dink from fire and a bullet in the chest, unfortunately for Yaya. So now Apricot is focusing his fire down on the right hand side. His teammate you can see dead in the buildings, but a nice spawn coming in for CPLAY. Torquata in there as well, moving in behind Blade. So Blade's got to be very careful, as soon as that starts flashing, you're going to see Torquata taking some fire. There we go. He gets finished off very quickly indeed. Blade with good reactions. But now, where there was one, there is now three. And Del Arco trying to move out as well. Yaya also in the process of starting to move out. And it looks like ExAequo are really starting to push back pretty hard here against the members of CPLAY. But you can see here a battle going on around the C point. Even the pistols are drawn right now. And you can see it looks like CPLAY have actually managed to win that. And now you can see here that the trouble is they're actually in a midpoint where they're starting to get the C point. They're now starting to get the B point. And this is going to be an interesting situation for them. As you can see, fire coming in here from Zordon onto Torquata. And they're taking masses of fire. Oh my goodness, huge amounts of fire coming in. And that's almost a complete wipe there on ExAequo. And CPLAY and it looks like they were down to 3 men. So the gunfire that is going on between these two teams at the moment, it is so intense, and it's 19 tickets to 38 in favour of CPLAY. So CPLAY managing to drag it back. Why do you think that has been, Dogbert?
And just the kills coming in there. Sayo trying to capture that C flag. Freedom has just been getting so many important kills that have really been keeping CPLAY on control of a lot of these flags here. ExAequo threatening a full domination cap here. I mean, Blad's sitting there trying to work out what to do. They're trying to clear out the upper balcony, but they're losing that B flag, so they need, A flag, so they need to move quick here, and they don't have that many tickets, but this game is really, really close, Chad, and it's going to come down to this B fight here. They need to win it. Upper balcony's in play right now, and so is the B flag, so whoever wins these ones is going to come out big.
So, let's see what's going on, as we're now down to the last, I would say, about 40 tickets approximately, between the two teams. And right now, ExAequo are starting to pull those tickets back against the members of CPLAY. And you can see here that the bleed is getting very, very bad as far as they're concerned. But CPLAY are pressuring the B point. They're in at the B point, and look at the amount of fire and gunfire and bodies and everything that's going on. Sayo looking to try and take that point from underneath their nose. But oh, look at that. Yaya managing to survive. But finally getting taken down, and now you can see ExAequo moving in, and now they've got to try and move that very quickly, because you can see as a result of that the C and the B point are being held by the opposing forces. Blade moving in towards the A, and we're going to have to see other members like Mimsiek moving down towards the C. They've got to get this as very quickly as they can and get in there so that they get that bleed away from them, and they might be able to take it in the last few seconds of this round, Dogbert.
Yeah, it's all about the rush here from CPLAY onto B here. Zordon and Protec might be able to stop it, but they're the only ones. If CPLAY can just get into this B flag, they are going to grey it out, and there's only 2 people nearby to actually stop this. It's all about the capture now. It doesn't matter about the kills. And ExAequo are coming in here, but there's a 3-on-4 right now, and it's down to the wire, Chad. It's all down to Blad right now. He's the last guy up. I think there's one more in there from Sayo. Man, spawns are everywhere, but it looks like CPLAY might be able to squeeze this one out. But no, Sayo finishes it off, and that is going to be it, Chad. How many tickets? 2 tickets. Wow. And that's what happens when you have 2 evenly matched teams like this. Dawnbreaker, everyone knows how to play it, but wow. 2 tickets. That was insane. It all came down to that B flag fight. Revives came in hot and heavy, and really 2 players I want to bring into this: Seo and Freedom. Both of these guys, absolute beasts. Seo has been a dominant force for quite a while for ExAequo, and Freedom, I'm not 100% sure if it's his actual name or if he's changed it recently.
Difficult to say. Difficult to say.
Either way, solid play from both of those guys, and wow, what a game.
Fantastic game, absolutely fantastic. So we shall be moving on to round number 2, and let's hope that round number 2 is just as exciting as round number 1 was on Dawnbreaker. And of course you are listening to Chadman and Dogbert. We are bringing you, obviously, the Seasonal Cup number 1 for Battlefield 4 ESL 1, and this is the spring season, ladies and gentlemen, so we will moving towards a May final, I believe, based on the bracket information, which I shall very kindly show you right now, as you can see here. So we're obviously doing CPLAY versus ExAequo. They will meet the winners of Meet Your Makers versus No Mercy. Dignitas have a bye, and Dignitas are going to be going up against Epsilon. That'll be an interesting battle in itself. And you've got obviously Exertus and PKD along with Fnatic and Isuba. So there's still plenty and all to play for in between these 2 teams. So let's get back straight into it and find out what's going on, while you can tell us how these guys are going to roll out, Dogbert, while I sort the scores out.
Well, Chad, it'll be an interesting one, I think. Just a quick look at the... It's okay, guys. I'm sorry, we're all right side here? Yeah. ExAequo is probably going to try and boost up, but I don't know if we're live, actually. Yeah, not live. Going to get another respawn. But considering what we've seen last time, you're probably going to have to see a big push onto B. Some teams like to maybe go Fnatic's kind of pace, which is kind of a more slow, measured one around A, and then slowly fall onto that B flag. But other teams like to just rush in through the tunnels and just break through and try and do what they can. So we'll have to see if that happens. CPLAY, though, I mean, there are 2 tickets in this game, Chad. I mean, there's barely nothing there. So we'll have to wait and see how that one plays out. But I don't think 2 tickets are really going to play too much into this one. And, yeah, probably the smallest victory margin I've seen for a team for quite a while in Battlefield.
Indeed, yes.
We have seen teams win by 1 ticket.
We have, yes.
And we have seen a draw. So
the first draw ever as well, wasn't it? Not even you'd seen that in 15 years of Battlefield.
No, I haven't seen a draw in a long, long time. I think maybe it happened in BF a few times, but that was a long, long time ago.
Back in the dim and distant past when we were both a lot thinner and more beautiful.
Definitely. But if I get makeup, I'm definitely beautiful anyway. So,
well, there's pictures of you on the ESL website of you being dusted like a $5 hooker.
Well,
but no, yeah, I have to say, you did.
Makeup they had to put
you cut a suit pretty well. You looked pretty sharp. I have to say on camera, you did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I like to try and look smart on his suit. I don't know. I mean, I was more worried that I would look like some random pro gamer that just like mug someone for a suit. Which I guess you could say I look like that as well.
That's a possibility that I can't discount, but you know me, it's not for me to really say that. So yeah, bear in mind that if I wear a suit, I look like a sack tied in the middle. So to be honest, I'm not really in a position to comment too favourably or negatively based on my own personal experience. But that's a different discussion entirely. Plus, at least they didn't have to deal with the shiny forehead issue that they would have had to deal with if I had been there. There would have been a certain amount of there would have been like a small 10-inch wide brush to just brush over the top of the bonds just to make sure that no kind of glare will occur, because that's the last thing you want when you're talking to the camera and you suddenly get a massive lens flare and loads of people watching the stream start to have a seizure.
Would you like to borrow my my sombrero?
Yes, that would be nice actually, although I'm not sure how professional that would look. Now, obviously, if there was a Mexican team in the competition, then yeah, I would actually then be regarded as, he might be supporting the Mexican team or something along those lines. But yeah, I can understand. I appreciate the offer, but I'm not sure it would send the right signal per se.
Yeah, well,
maybe a fedora, perhaps. I don't know, but it's still kind of tilted at a slightly rakish angle. But that's about the limit, I think.
I don't even know where to go from this point, really. I mean, we can talk about hats a bit longer. I mean, yeah, I know, I brought it upon myself. I'm 100% aware of it. And sorry, guys, if you're wondering, ExAequo still missing a guy, so that's why we have not started.
That's why we're rambling.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about fedoras. And
we are.
Other hats and stuff.
We're talking to a man who has no hair on his head, technically speaking. So as a result of that, I have to buy a lot of hats, because otherwise in the sun, I get sunburnt very easily. I end up looking like some kind of psychotic strawberry. So to protect myself, that means that I have to own a lot of hats. So therefore my hat knowledge is probably higher than other people's would be, who are, you know, are not as follically challenged as myself.
Well, I own a few hats as well, Chad. And that's because if I don't cut my hair, I have big curly hair.
I used to have curly hair as well when I was younger. Like really, really curly hair.
Yeah, I the same. It used to interfere with my gaming.
Really?
I don't even know how to say that really, but it does. Just take it for red. It would just get annoying on my
fringes.
headset.
It's the whole fringe thing. Yeah. I haven't had a fringe since the 80s, so you know those days are well behind me. I'm glad to say. I like the minimalist haircut. I like the fact that I can wake up in the morning, my hair looks exactly the same as when I went to bed. One of the few advantages. Nice. Yeah, none of this hat hair type stuff. So, yeah, we're just waiting for the other member of ExAequo to get on, and then we'll be underway with round number 2 on Dawnbreaker between ExAequo and CPLAY. So, a very interesting match so far. Certainly less of a dominant display for CPLAY than on the previous map, but technically speaking, this is ExAequo's choice of map. I think they did a very good job to hold on to it and get it down as far as 2 tickets, because that gives them at least a much more comfortable buffer for the second round, should they decide to step their game up a little bit.
It's all right, man. Remember, they're 2 tickets ahead. It's easy from then on out. As soon as you're 2 tickets ahead, you're easily going to win. Yeah, I mean, just waiting for... I don't know what the hell's going on with ExAequo.
It's possible he may have crashed. What's the chat saying? So, yeah, it's just, I think they're waiting... they're just waiting for these guys to get themselves ready and get the last person in, and then we should be underway. So my apologies, everybody, for the delay. We can continue rambling about hats and other things of that nature, but obviously, you know, we want you to remain entertained. We don't wish you to start headbutting the monitor or anything along those lines.
Well, you know... just looking at the, let's have a look at the brackets right now. I don't know how much of it's been updated. But at the moment we've got Meteor Makers going up against No Mercy at the top of the bracket. We've obviously got CPLAY versus ExAequo we've got going on now. Dignitas will probably take on the AV for the win. Because
AV, oh right, yes, sorry, my bad.
Max Flow Play, obviously you've been disqualified due to hacking. Epsilon are going to take on Wartime Dignity or RF Team. Fnatic have beaten Exuber, and they are going to be playing against Planet Key Dynamics.
Ooh.
And below that we have Icy Box versus Infamous and Team Unas versus Paragen. So I think Paragen are probably going to move into that, and it'll be interesting to see who they play in that. I don't know if that's been updated yet.
That would be interesting to see ESC Icy Box versus Pyrogen, because we've seen those guys play against each other multiple times, and it always turns out to be a pretty interesting match.
Favorite Pyrogen, I think they're on a high right now.
Understandably so, yes.
I mean, after the final, I was talking to ExAequo, and you know what? Even though they'd lost, and they were obviously very disappointed that they didn't win, they only just lost. I mean, it wasn't like they were dominated.
No.
And if you see it from their point of view, they won far more tickets in that matchup than did MYM. And I mean, they won by a lot of tickets in some of it. And the ones they lost were all close games. Like, in every game they lost against MYM, they only lost it with a handful of tickets.
Wow.
And if you got to think about it, if any of those had gone the other way, they would have been the champions. And so they could hold their heads up higher than probably any other team except from MYM, obviously. And they must be feeling quite confident. And they must feel that if they can do it once, they can easily do it again. And I would not be surprised to see these guys just outperforming people at LAN. They just seem to have that spirit that just carries them.
Indeed, that indomitable spirit of not letting go. Now, other interesting information, Fnatic are going up against PKD. Choices have been Lockers, Lankang Dam, and then Shanghai as the decider. So I'm pretty much guessing that Fnatic have gone for Lockers and PKD have gone for Lankang Dam. That's kind of expected. I think Lockers probably one of Fnatic's most strongest maps under the circumstances. So. But they've even had when we casted recently, they've actually had Fnatic have even had a roster change as well. I don't know if you've noticed that Drunk Z23 is now on the Fnatic roster.
Yeah, he was a pickup. I guessed it. I was taught it too easy. I expected it. I'm not at all surprised. It was a good pickup, and it works quite well for them, both online and at LAN. And he's still personality, it works for them.
Mm-hmm.
Connor, who did they lose? It was Winghaven. So
yeah.
They also almost picked up Marsu at one point,
mm-hmm.
Who's now playing for Epsilon.
Yep.
And they almost picked up Jera as well, who also played for Epsilon, but ending up sticking with their first pick at the beginning, which was Drunks, and I think that probably will work much better for them in the future. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays for them. But right now, I'd say they're probably the best team in BF4 right now.
Oh, right, I see. That's going to be interesting to see. Now, obviously, we're going to want to see a rematch, so to speak, online of the likes of Fnatic versus Pyrogen, just to see what difference online makes, as obviously LAN is everything when it comes to these kind of finals. It is a completely different experience. I remember the early days of us playing on 56k modems, and then you go to LAN, you're like, oh my god, I have an under 10 ping. This is awesome. So, yeah, the difference between LAN and online is less obvious, I would say, than it has been in earlier gaming.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. That's why LAN's so goddamn useful. Everything just feels so much better for the teams, and I think that's what they really liked about it.
Except in the early days of Steam updates, when they would always update it just before you had a LAN, just before you had a competition, and you didn't have a pipe that could download the update for everybody.
I was at IEM recently with a CSGO team for Dignitas. There was a delay of about 4 hours because Steam had released an update to CSGO, which was meant to be a small update, but for some reason was about 3 gig, which caused a lot of issues.
I can imagine.
Obviously, it was a mistake, but yeah, it still caused some issues. So yeah, we're going to go live finally, and it looks like ExAequo are going to be starting in the harder side this time. They're going to be doing the boost up. It'll be interesting to see how they're going to play for this flag. If they're going to go for a slow push onto A, or if they're going to risk pushing onto B. And it looks like they're going to push that B flag. Look at that 4-man push already. And this is going to be interesting. You see they're leaving behind one to cover their rear, but the rest of them are just flowing onto that flag. And there's the first blood going straight over to ExAequo. They're trying to get them more. They get a second. This is looking good for them right now, Chad.
Yeah, and it looks like they've surprised their enemy as well under the circumstances, that they were not expecting a push like that. Now, the trouble is, obviously, with a push into that B point, is you're channeling an awful lot of your team through a single corridor, and it can be very dangerous for that reason. But it looks like they've managed to get away with it, and now we're looking at Yaya in the process of trying to recapture that B point back in favour of CPLAY. But you can have Sayo looking to get some important hits onto the enemy, see if he can get in there and do the damage, and it looks like he's playing it a little bit more cautiously right now, as it looks like Yaya's been taken down. We got a massive spawn of 3 men by the C point, and they're in the process of moving up and chasing that. We've got Blade, who looks to be doing a little bit of a sneaky ninja run. Oh, nades coming in over the top of Proboscis. And unfortunately right in between the legs of Proboscis. He is no more, and now as a result of that, the A point is then going to get taken. Immediately you see a reaction coming in from the ExAequo as Delarco gets shut down very quickly at the C point, and now you can see it's pretty much Sayo trying to defend that building from his enemy. There we go, takes down Freedom as he's trying to hide behind the reception bench, but it looks like Sayo is now going to have to try and defend against a 3-man push, but it looks like ExAequo is actually in there, but unfortunately got taken down very quickly by Apricot. He's now on the he's pretty much on that area and the balcony, so he can now look in between those points. So it's looking like CPLAY have managed to secure the B and the A hold, and it looks like a pretty serious push coming in from ExAequo into the A point right now, Dogbert.
Yeah, finally they managed to break through something that they've been struggling to do for a while. They eventually get the bleed back on, but that's quite a lead right now for ExAequo. They just need to keep this going. But they're trying to push onto that A flag, and it's not working out well for them. And there's a knife kill from Delarco, and wow, Masak is not happy about that. And right now, ExAequo gonna try and get into that B flag, but you can just see that CPLAY is surrounding them right now.
Indeed they are. So yeah, it's interesting to see how they're going to do with this, because right now you can see that the members of CPLAY are kind of sort of trying to surround them as best they can, but the trouble is a massive spawn of ExAequo are starting to push down towards the C and trying to cover that connector as well. So you're going to see the likes of Proboscis start to trade fire with members of the enemy team on the B point. So at the same time, Delarco moves down on towards the A, and immediately you see a reaction from ExAequo as he's now going to start moving in to try and take out the enemy. Let's see if he can find him. The Proboscis takes him down, or takes down one of the enemy, and there we go. Delarco is finished off at C. The B is being changed, and look at this. Zordon literally is doing a one-man defense of the A point, and is unfortunately taken out very quickly. But that was literally a domination cap by ExAequo for literally no more than 2 or 3 seconds, but that's a good start, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely what they needed, but they need to keep on top of this game right now. They know that someone's trying to push on. See, but they got 3 people looking at the same person, and Freedom here might be able to sneak up and get a kill. He gets taken out though, but this is looking good for ExAequo now. They've got what they needed. They've got B, they've got C, they've got the bleed. They've gone ahead again in this matchup, and they've tied down a lot of the CPLAY guys outside the B. But there's that spawn from at least 2 from CPLAY out near C. First one goes down, Freedom's the last one remaining, and he's just pulling players away from that B flag, and this is letting CPLAY move out a lot freely around the map.
Yeah, unfortunately you're lagging a little bit over there, Mr. Dogbert, so hopefully that's more yourself than myself. Let me just check to make sure. Yeah, everything's working okay. The odd drop frame, but nothing too bad. But then, look at that. Oh dear. I think we may have lost Mr. Dogbert from the internet. So, unfortunately, it looks like I might have to continue solo. So, let's see what's going on. Now you can see here, it looks like a... Bingo, he's back. So, we're looking at a what appears to be a push coming in from CPLAY on towards that B point. They've taken down 2 members of ExAequo out to the B point, but they're now respawning very quickly. But a nasty spawn coming in from Torquota means that they can actually then start to take that A point from behind them. And this is going to be a very nasty situation because nobody's getting that B flag right now. And this is a time when they really need those tickets. But 101 tickets to 66, so this is a very important moment right now. So we're looking at ExAequo. Blade, unfortunately, cannot shoot back at 2 enemies at the same time. He gets taken down, and now they're starting to push in towards the B point as Freedom slides down the stairs after having been revived. And now you can see them obviously working that point, getting in the buildings as ExAequo are forming by the balcony and trying to push in. Zordon gets taken out, and let's find out what Seo's doing as he's going to be trading fire with a couple of members. Oh, look at that. Freedom comes jumping in and unfortunately gets taken out very quickly indeed. And let's see what's going on. Now there's a double spawn coming in. Nades going, bouncing out, and you can see as Seo starts to make his way back towards the A point to make sure they're not being outflanked, which is exactly what's happening right now with Apricot. So you can see Abri making his way in right now, and there we go, trading fire, nice bit of hip fire coming in, but unfortunately he was unsuccessful as Blade managed to get the better of him. And is Mr. Dogbert back, we question ourselves?
I am indeed back.
Welcome
I don't know
back.
if I'm lagging still, but...
No, you are no longer lagging, you are now sounding wonderful. So we have just been looking at a very interesting. We just had a very strong push coming down from CPLAY in towards the B point. They tried to surround as many of the ExAequo as possible, but a spawn came in from EXA onto the balcony, and they were able to push in pretty hard onto that B point and then start to take it back. So now they've got the bleed against the members of CPLAY, and it's 50 tickets to 74 in favour of EXA right now, Dogbert.
Yeah, don't forget, Chad, they have 2 tickets from the previous round. You want to add that into every equation. It is very important. And right now, yeah, it's a back and forth game, but I think CPLAY are doing a little bit better. They brought down what was quite a significant ticket lead right now. But that B flag is where they have to be worried. Once again, EXA are attacking it. And Blanton right now is just dropping them all down. He trades it, and that leaves Torco by himself, as the last remaining CPLAY guy who's near that flag, and he's already getting tagged heavy, and he goes down, and that flag switches back over to EXA, and there you go, another kill on Yahya, and this is forcing CPLAY into the one place they don't want to be. Far away from B, far away from A, and stuck out of that C flag. And even on random spawns, they don't get close. This is the chance for ExAequo to take this to a third map.
It is indeed, and you can see Sayo defending the connector bridge. And now you can see a push up from the outside here by the members of the enemy team, and this is an opportunity now for Sayo to do a very important job and essentially take out as many of the enemy as possible. There we go, he gets Blade back up and running, and now you can see them that what they've done is they've kind of drawn the enemy EXA away from that B point. But look at that, Delarco and Yaya fighting and literally all being finished off. That's a 4-man wipe on the right hand side of that B point. That's really serious as far as those guys are concerned, and that could be the death knell for them for this particular round. As you can see now, the ExAequo are quite happy to stay there with the B and the A hold, let the bleed of the tickets do its work.
Yeah, Bladden and Sayo really just shut down that push so hard. Sayo caught 3 guys trying to come up the same place. And there you go, Chad. They're not even going to wait that one out. They're just like, please switch map, admin. Please, please end our misery on this map. And we're going to Zaphod. So, very impressive. Didn't get to check the final scores there, but like I said, Bladden and Sayo really stepping up and dominating a lot of those matches. But it was quite a close-fought game, but near the end, that's where it started to swing quite decisively. There were a few full domination caps, and all of it into the favour of EXA, and wow, what a game. And after watching the first one on Locker, Chad, did you really think we would go to a third map? I mean, the first map on Locker was quite decisive win for CPLAY. They really controlled it from the get-go. And EXA really just didn't seem awake. But they woke up big time.
Oh, hell yeah.
They really took it to them. So, very, very impressed by them here. And that's what you need to go far in these kind of competitions. The ability to come back from losses like that.
Indeed. Now, a little bit of an update information for you. Max Flow Marion, apparently, was the player who was banned. This occurred 41 minutes ago and was an even balance violation for a multi-hack, according to the information here, and he was kicked off of one of the servers. So that's a very unfortunate situation there, and I'm pretty sure that the members of Max Flow are going to be fuming as a result of that. There's not really much we can say about that. As you well know, that all games are played with hackers, and everybody wants to play on a level playing field. That's essentially the gig, is what you're talking about with competitive players. The most things that they want is a level playing field. You bring a hacker into it and you completely change it. Why? I still don't understand why somebody would hack in a competition, especially an official competition. It's, you know, if you end up winning, doesn't it cheapen your win? It just makes no sense to me. Never mind, never mind. But more to the point, at least he's been caught. So, Dogbert has gone quiet again, as he's obviously distracted by shiny things or food. So we are waiting for these guys to get themselves ready. So let's just check. So, there we go. It looks like Mr. Dogbert has decided to answer the call of nature. Now, the only drawback, Mr. Dogbert, is the fact that invariably I have the chat in-game hidden.
Okay. Well, I'm back, Chad.
Apparently you are, yes. So now, I'm wondering if it's worth showing the squad list, because I don't normally show them that often. So I'm wondering if it's actually worth doing that. So, we shall see. But, anyway, it's interesting, quick snapshot of what the teams are doing and what they're up to. So, you know, let me know in chat if you guys are happy. So it looks like Blade was... yeah, Blade's back now, so they should be underway any minute now. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Zavod 311. And this is the final deciding map between these two teams. And like you said, Locker wasn't exactly a great match to watch, but holy crap was Dawnbreaker good.
Indeed, it was one of those maps that, you know, breed just close and competitive games, and we've seen that plenty of times with teams like MYM and Pyrogen and Dig. I mean, it can just really go down to the wire. It'll be interesting to see exactly how these teams want to break down. So I'm just going to quickly have a look. I mean, we're at weapons right now. It's AWRs, Aces, and no one taking an engineer kit, which is interesting. I say it's interesting because especially as the US or Russian side, sorry, you sometimes want to blow up that wall near C, open up that flag a lot more, and really just crack it open and just flow into that flag. But no engineer kit at all, so it's just going to be assaults across the board, which we've come to expect in a way. And this is a typical breakdown by all teams. CPLAY sending at least 4 people to the outside with one guy kind of hanging around in the middle there, and it all comes down to that initial capture. And right now ExAequo get first blood, 2 kills actually, make that 3, and they're going to possibly make it 4 here. That's going to be a capture for them, and they try to make it 4, they get the trade, and then they're going to get the revive, and now CPLAY are in the position they really do not want to be on. They have to push for that C flag. It's not properly defended right now by ExAequo, but I am wrong. Prosek by himself underground in that tunnel gets a 2-man kill, and this is an absolute rout so far. Kills across the board for EXA, and they are dominating CPLAY out of the gate.
Yeah, this is a pretty good display here right now, and as a result of that, as you said, look at the numbers that are now moving towards that point, and that's interesting to see that you're going to have the likes of ExAequo, who's actually in that little tank area by the C point. Now the trouble is it means he can't run that easily if he's coming under a massive amount of fire. He can literally hide, but he's actually managed to get out of the way, move in, take out ExAequo, and you can see that they're also then trying to push up through the tunnels from the A point down towards the C, and literally these guys are being cut to pieces, absolutely brutalized. And look at this, they spawned so far outside of the map right now that the flag domination cap, look at that.
Yeah, domination cap, definitely not what they want. Freedom still at C though, and he might be critical here to switch this game around. He needs to get this final kill, and he gets it. Mex is going to run to the C flag and try and stop it right now. Everything was looking great for EXA, but that one play from Freedom has managed to switch this game around. They had no one defending B, they went out for that A flag, and they pay for it now with a possible full domination cap coming against them themselves. This is all change.
It is indeed, and we're now looking at Blade as he's moving in towards that A point. He's going to go for the leg kill, takes down ExAequo very quickly. But the trouble is you've also got ExAequo who's nearby that area. He's going to be looking for the enemy, and any second now you can see the A point is starting to flash. So it looks like ExAequo is starting to make his way out, but look at this. An ambush team. Oh, moving in behind the EXA. This could be absolutely massive. 2 taken down. Oh, my goodness. This could have been so unfortunate here for the members of EXA. They're coming under fire from multiple directions. And that is pretty much an entire team wipe there, with the exception of Blade. Only man left standing. And that was a textbook ambush going on there, Dogbert. They literally moved in behind them. They waited for them. As soon as they moved past them in the tunnel, they dropped in behind them, gunned masses of them down. And the guys from the C point also defending took down so many of the members of ExAequo, but they're still doing okay tickets wise.
Yeah, but that lead that they had has been taken down, and if it's been taken down by anyone, it's pretty much been by Freedom. 9 for 2 right now with the critical capture on C. He has done a great job, and finally EXA break it and get that C flag back. But man, that was a comeback, and they needed that. Now this game is pretty much up in the air again, but Freedom by himself has brought CPLAY back into this game, and it's really all to play for still, all to play for.
It is indeed, and we're now at the tanks area at the B point. But now you can see the A point also being contested, the B point in the process of being taken. There's Proboscis in there as well, and now you can see ExAequo, Sayo, and one of his teammates there as well, ExAequo. And look at this push coming in from CPLAY. This is going to be a very dangerous situation for them. As you can see, one of them backing off to try and take a different route. And here comes a hardcore push by the members of CPLAY into the C point. A very, very risky play. But fortunately for them, there was nobody around from EXA to actually stop them. And so, we're just waiting for the inevitable gunfight at C, which we know will occur. And you can see here more fire coming in any second now. There's Mimsiak moving in with the ACWR, going in for another kill into Apricot. Delarco also finished off by Mimsiak. He's now in a position to try and recapture that point, looking down towards the tunnel, see if he can actually do some damage. In comes more of them. Hit fire coming in from him. He's going to get out the pistol, take a nade to the face, and unfortunately then get shut down. But the point is that he was doing a fantastic job of tying up the enemy CPLAY team at that C point, allowing the A point to be taken by EXA and the B point to still be secured by them. Dogbert.
Yeah, definitely. And right now you can see CPLAY kind of getting a better handle onto this game. They're spawning out on A. There's not much to spawn. It's not like they decided it was just going to happen. But there you go, getting wiped out by Sayo and company, and that's going to bring the flag lead back over to EXA. This is looking strong for them right now. They've almost gone double in tickets right now, and they're really just pinning CPLAY into the flags they don't want. There's a spawn for CPLAY, and it's going to be a push onto that B flag. And it's down to if EXA want to just try and hold this, or if they want to just wait until they know that there's not many on C and then rush it.
Indeed.
That looks like possibly what they're going to do. But the 1v1 over A is important right now. Delarco and Bladden. If that goes anyone's way, this might change this game very, very quickly.
Indeed. Now the trouble is Blade is having to be very careful to get his man. Seeing if he can look under those things. Nades coming in. There we go. Gets his man. Blade getting the kill, managing to hold that A point, but almost immediately you get a reaction from CPLAY. Out come the nades in order to get those guys to back off. And you can see Sayo also moving up to support his teammate at A. So this is a very good situation far as ExAequo are concerned. You can see them now starting to focus and triangulate their fire onto the members of CPLAY as they're moving in towards the A point. The C point being defended by Zordon, the B point being defended by Torquato from CPLAY. And now you can see a lot of pressure being with these guys floating in between the A and the C point, and it looks like they're going to try and commit to this C point. But you can see Sayo is literally in there doing his one-man defense. Correction, doing his one-man catch and nade with my nose. And you can see here more fire going in as well. Just absolutely massive amounts of nades right now. Zordon, pretty much one of the few people left standing. Let's follow the push as they go in. So they're going in. There we go, running to Sayo and Zordon. Zordon about to get shot in the back as well. Oh, and it looks like they get overcome by sheer weight of numbers by the members of the CPLAY team. They committed wholeheartedly to that C flag. They've now got to be in the C hold, Dogbert.
Yeah, and that's basically what CPLAY need to do. They need to keep these holds a bit better, but you can see already at B it's starting to go a bit wrong, and they're leaving Prozac to defend that A flag, but right now, oh, Delarco goes down. This opens up the B flag now, and once again, CPLAY have to go on the offensive. What a spawn, though, to get the offensive right out near A. And that's going to be, oh my god, look at the spawn from EXA though. Bladden right behind two of them. Oh. Now, what looked difficult at first is now a lot easier for him to do, but he needs to get these kills. Gets one, can he make it two? He's got to deal with, and that's it. There is no one else. It's just Apricot nearby. Oh. And he's stuck between two players right now, and he goes down as well. Wow, big plays for EXA right now. They are steaming ahead.
Blade playing fantastically, I have to say. And now, ironically enough, he's got two men spawning behind him and moving in towards the A point. So the irony of that situation is kind of slightly amusing to me. But that's just me. I guess I'm a bit of a sadist. But we should just have to wait and see as Torquato is now in the process of trying to capture that point. But you've also got Zordon moving up as well. Takes down Delarco very quickly. Looking for feet underneath the machinery to see if he can actually get in there. And it looks like they've essentially finished off that area. And this could be a domination cap. It is, Dogbert. 12 tickets remaining. This is very, very dangerous to CPLAY. They've got to get in, get that flag back. But I don't think they're going to have enough time in which to do it. The bleed will do its work, Dogbert. And the deaths will also cause a major problem for them. Sorry.
EXA just seem to be so much more on point on this map. They've just come out of the gate so much stronger. That initial wipe from them, 77 tickets. Repeating the score that CPLAY got on the first round of Locker. I'm seeing a lot of 77 written down on a piece of paper in front of me. Really, really strong from EXA. They're just doing a very good job there. And yeah, what can you say really? When you wipe that many enemy at the beginning of a game, you're going to be ahead. They were almost 50 tickets ahead in the first few minutes. Freedom obviously managed to battle back for CPLAY, getting critical kills on C, but it just wasn't enough. And EXA commanding lead coming into the third and final map.
Look at those kills: 12-5, 16-7, 16-8, 13-5 for the top four of EXA. I mean, Blade was fantastic, and like you're saying, Proboscis with some one-man defensive situations absolutely played out of his skin. Fantastic, and really helped them win that round.
Yeah, I mean, CPLAY really just kind of looked a bit headless. They didn't really know what they were going for a lot of the time there, and EXA just looked a lot more on point, and they take the win there. So we'll have to see in this one, but 77 tickets. Not only is that difficult to deal with simply because of how it affects how you play, but it's a mental issue, you know? You can't be as aggressive, or at least you start questioning what you're going to do a lot more. You know, there are a lot more things that can become a lot harder when you realise you do not have as many tickets to play with.
Yeah, exactly. It will kind of, to a certain degree, it will, like you were saying, you can't be more aggressive. If you are normally aggressive as a team, it's the kind of thing that you might have to step back from. And because you're not playing as you would normally, do you think that maybe throws players and teams off a little bit because they're not playing their standard style because they don't have the comfortable buffer that they would normally have?
Yeah, and it just, you start questioning some things because of stuff like that. So we're not live actually because I think someone's still loading into the game. I think, you know, and this seems to be a recurring issue. Here you go, guys. Here's a tip. Get an SSD and stick BF4 on it. It's the best way to load in quickly. And in case you can't get an SSD, then, you know.
One thing I will say about SSD, guys, bear in mind that these things have what's known as a write limit on it. So, in other words, they are not like normal hard drives where you can write to them ad infinitum. Once they hit that limit, they will effectively cease to function. So, getting an SSD is all very well, but be prepared to have to re-download and reinstall Battlefield 4 at one point. So just something to bear in mind when it comes to actually dealing with the physical hardware of these computers. They are limited as they stand at the moment. You can get hybrids, which basically means you have an SSD cache that then writes it onto an individual hard drive separately. But to be honest, I can't talk any more about this because otherwise Dogbert will fall asleep, as he's not really a techie.
Wow. I'll try not to fall asleep. I'll try and keep my eyes open and my ears open as well. As yeah, I mean, 77 tickets though, and I'm trying to see. No one's took an engineer kit. As you can hear me smacking on my keyboard, trying to find out if anyone's moved and changed kit. No one has. So yeah,
that's the thing. You do see that seawall. Let's just see if we can find it. I just want to show it here on the camera, the sea wall that normally gets taken out. It's this big, massive, great big huge wall here that enables them to get into that sea point a lot easier from the A, because otherwise what you're doing is you're only going to have 3 entrances. You're going to have this one, you're going to have this one, and you're going to have the tunnel. So by taking down the walls, it gives you the option of more entrances. And we are away, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. And you can see now it looks like CPLAY moving in the red, and the blue are in as EXA. And you can see they've already managed to take down Yaya. And the trouble is these guys here are pushing into the B point. They're actually out in the open, which means they don't have the cover. Oh, my goodness. Holy crap.
Wow. Apricot, last man there, realising it, tried to run into the pit at sea and just got shot down. And there you go, a full domination cap really early on, Chad. That is brutal.
Wow.
A is probably going to be lost. There's not much EXA can do about it. But man, they've got the B and the C, and that's definitely what they need. And what a start to already a dominant round before.
I've never seen a start like that on Zavod. That was impressive. That was literally almost a full domination cap within 30 seconds of the game starting. And that's something you don't see very often. So let's find out. As you can see now, it looks like here CPLAY are going in all guns blazing. They're going to get that C point. They've left Torquato back at the A point to guard it. Fortunately for them, even though it looks like EXA have lost everybody, Mimziek are now acting as the spawn point. And now you can see the other members also then, Sayo and Proboscis, moving up towards the A point. So let's see, we can find out what's going on. I think let's follow Proboscis as he's moving in towards the A. He's only going up against a single man of CPLAY, so we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. And it looks like the single man of CPLAY has managed to claim his victim, and you can see the feet moving under the machinery there, and it looks like Sayo is down. Now, the trouble is he can't take the risk of reviving his teammate just in case both of them die, and he can't really afford those tickets. But look at that. On CPLAY returning with a domination cap. What the hell is going on, Dogbert? This is insanity.
Yeah, and Apricot holding down that C flag. He's already got 2 kills as a defender here. He really needs to be careful though, because if he gets taken out here, that is going to open up that C flag. But he's doing a great job right now. But you can sort of see the EXE guys starting to surround that flag. They get the kill on him, but there's already people around from Yaya and Freedom, and now it's a 1-on-1 at that flag, and it looks like Freedom gets it, and there come in the revives. And this is looking good for CPLAY. They need to keep this together though. But they can do it. I mean, we have seen some dominating victories on this map. They just need to keep this pressure.
Indeed they do. So we're looking at Freedom at the moment. He looks to be in a relatively comfortable position where he's waiting. We're looking at ExAequo, who managed to take down Blade and also Mimsiek as they were out in the open. And it might have been Torquato who assisted on that one. So this is looks like Yaya being taken down as he tried to probe the defences a little bit too far. But the nades are now starting to come out. And it looks like Blade taken down again by Freedom, and also Sayo being finished off. So let's see if we can follow the likes of ExAequo trying to defend. And there we go, him immediately coming under fire. He's going to have to back off, try and get his teammate back up and running very quickly indeed. And the battle for tanks is actually pretty serious right now, as it looks to be a 3-on-3 between the members of CPLAY. And the thing is that EXA know they have to try and defend this point, because otherwise the bleed's going to go against them. It's going to be a serious problem for them right now, Dogbert.
Yeah, and they just need a close fought game here, and that's what they're playing for. They don't need anything crazy. Those spawns are coming in for EXA. They're abandoning that A flag, but they're pushing for B as hard as they can. It's just Yaya and ExAequo, but more are coming. Freedom and Apricot as well. This is really good for CPLAY. They just need to finish off this capture over at B, and there you go, they wipe. But the only place it goes wrong is A, and that's bad. But man, that's what you need. A good 4-man wipe on a B flag, keep the bleed going, and this is still possible for CPLAY to win this game. They just need to keep these wipes coming in. Just always have 4 people wherever the pressure is, and just hope that the 1v1 stay in your favour. And that's what they're doing, and it's working great.
Yeah, and it looks like they're actually Sayo caught out the man who was waiting in ambush. But unfortunately Zordon being finished off, and means immediately you can see the members of CPLAY rotating down towards the C point, and the battle in the tunnels is beginning. The tunnel rats are coming out of every nook and cranny to try and push in towards that point, and the EXA doing their best. Now the thing is, I'm surprised you're not seeing any of that wall taken down so that they can actually get in behind them, but apparently it looks like CPLAY have actually managed to defend that point. But now Zordon is moving in and looking to get an advantageous pick on the enemy. Nice hip fire as Zordon now having members spawn bomb onto him, and he takes down multiple members. And now this is an opportunity for EXA very nearly to get a domination cap again in response to CPLAY. And this is an insanely good match between 2 very close teams right now, and I have to say I'm loving every minute of this, Dogbert.
Yeah, and that was a nice push from EXA. That pressure on C eventually played off, and Sayo finishing off the kills at B, and there's that ticket bleed. And right now, this is where it gets obviously dangerous for C players. 77 tickets is the cut-off point, and EXA really just got to rely on this bleed now. They don't need to win it, they just need to win the round, and they're going to do it if they just keep it like this. Yeah,
now obviously the 77 tickets, they're in a relatively comfortable position. Unfortunately, Proboscis is no longer comfortable as he just got shot in the chest. And Mimsiek moving up, being taken down very quickly. Sayo moving down as well. Seeing if he can get an advantageous pick, but unfortunately he gets taken down as well. But look at this EXA Zordon moving up through the tunnels. The trouble is with the tunnels is it's such a choke point, such a nasty area. All that splash damage from the grenades, all that nastiness going on. And it's a very dangerous situation when you push in from A to C. But you're now looking at a hold of B and C by the members of EXA, and this is where CPLAY have to then start pushing in. And that's exactly what they're doing, as it looks like ExAequo's been taken down, and now you can see Torquato starting to make a push in towards that point. He's going to be moving up, supporting his teammate Freedom any second, looking for the enemy. There we go, takes him down very quickly, goes in for the res, but gets caught out, and then 2 members die very quickly indeed. ExAequo finishing everything off, Dogbert.
That is it, Chad. That is it. They just dropped it, and there you go. It will be EXA going through the next round. And I think CPLAY there probably didn't realise that as soon as they spawned in, it was pretty much over. But there you go. Wow, a team that got dominated on Locker, came back heavy on Dawnbreaker, and then absolutely smashed CPLAY on Zaphod. Really dominant display by EXA, and they're back on form, I'd say. I think they have returned from they're being shut out in the cold after not winning in the groups and not making it to the final.
Indeed, indeed. And that was, like you're saying, good turnaround as far as these guys are concerned. I think they should be very happy with that. And even now, they're still literally gunning down the members of CPLAY. And, yeah, so there's not really much those guys can do under the circumstances. Nade goes out, little nade party occurring. But, yeah, a very good display by EXA, I have to say. They managed to hold their nerve. And, like you're saying, they just played a comfortable game, really. The pressure was on CPLAY.
Yeah, indeed. And they're going to march on now, and they've got a difficult game coming up as they'll have to take on Meteor Makers,
Ouch.
obviously the champions of the last tournament, so they'll have a difficult one up ahead. But right now, as soon as you get to the quarterfinals, there's no such thing as an easy game. There's Meteor Makers there, Dignitas Epsilon, Fnatic PKD, Infamous versus Pyrogen down there, so wow. I mean, there is no easy games when you get to the quarterfinals, and you know, ExAequo really definitely came out of the fire there, the victors, but man, close game or what?
Indeed, indeed, sir, indeed. So we shall now move over to find out what's next, and we shall be bringing you more Battlefield 4 very shortly. In the meantime, I shall continue the music, and as soon as we've got the next match, we shall be bringing it to you. So stay tuned. I hope you're enjoying what you're hearing. And feel free to make any comments in the chat. We're more than welcome. Feedback is extremely welcome. And you can obviously follow ESL on Facebook. You can see ESL1. You can follow them on Twitter, ESL1. And you can also follow them on YouTube as ESL1. So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall return very shortly.